School funds for students with disabilities in Arkansas could be getting a big boost.
And a new store in Center Hill is making the outdoors a little more comfortable. Your HU16 News starts right now.
Thank you for joining us on HU16's Live at 5. I'm Kelly Christopher.
And I'm Josh Robinson. Arkansas lawmakers are looking to increase funding for special needs students. Yesterday, legislators recommended a $20 million increase to the fund that pays schools for educating students with disabilities. The increase would effectively triple the current fund of $11 million. Senator Uvalde Lindsay says it is a necessary first step in helping Arkansas's growing population of disabled students. If it's passed, the recommendation will be phased in next summer.
With election coming up in just a little over a month, a Harding Club is helping students to exercise their right to vote. Roosevelt is a national, nonpartisan political club that strives to get students involved in the political process. Yesterday, in the Student Center, Roosevelt helped people register to vote and handed out absentee ballots. They answered questions students had about the voting process and helped them to find information on candidates they want to vote for. They say they hope students realize how important their voice is in the election and that your vote is important.
I think especially at a school like this where you have people from so many different states, it is sometimes difficult for people to figure out, okay, what's the process I need to follow? What do I need to do to make sure that my vote is counted? And this is just a way to kind of bring that to people and say, hey, here's how you register, here's how you get a ballot, just to make sure that everybody is involved.
The last day to submit voter registration forms for the November election is next Monday, and absentee ballots must be received 1 day prior to an election.
A warrant has been issued for a Bradford woman in connection with the armed robbery of a Searcy gas station last year. Authorities say 26-year-old Catherine Harris faces charges of aggravated robbery with a bond of $15,000. Last October, an armed female suspect was caught on camera demanding money from the Valero gas station at the intersection of East Park Avenue and South Benton Street. Harris is not yet in police custody.
A Beebe man is facing charges after police say he raped a woman near a Walmart parking lot on Sunday. According to police, William Patrick Stillman fled on foot after sexually assaulting a woman in the wooded area near the Beebe Walmart. Stillman is currently being held at the White County Jail on a $75,000 bond.
A sexual assault victim caused a power outage in western Little Rock this morning. The 24-year-old woman was riding with the suspected attacker on Chenal Parkway when he pulled a gun on her. Once the car stopped, the victim ran from the suspect, jumped the fence of a power station, and finally climbed the tower, where she was shocked and thrown to the ground. The woman had to run another half mile before she found help. There is no further word on her condition. And a Little Rock teen is facing charges for not one, but two separate Waffle House robberies. Keelan Comic was arrested last month after being charged with robbing Searcy's Waffle House, but the restaurant's Conway location says he robbed their store the day before. Conway witnesses say the robber was a young black man in an Adidas t-shirt, brown pants, and white shoes, similar to what Comic was wearing when he was arrested in Searcy last month. Comic remains in Searcy's jail with a hold from these new accusations. And a new small business in Center Hill had its grand opening today. Rhino Building Products was founded by Elton and Tim Colwell from what started out as a father-son project. With help from friend Scott Eckhorn, the Colwells have finally turned their idea into a working business model. You can find out more about Rhino Building Products on the web or at their location in Center Hill.
Tyson Foods will be paying more than $1 million to thousands of applicants for violating hiring procedures. This according to the U.S. Department of Labor. They say the food company discriminated against applicants based on sex, race, or ethnicity. Nearly 6,000 applicants will receive wages, interest, and benefits. Tyson says that they will be revising their hiring and training practices. And 3 Searcy firefighters have a chance to become world-renowned athletes. Cody Lark, Anthony Amplo, and Rodrigo Thomas competed in Little Rock's Firefighter Combat Challenge last month and ended up qualifying for the World Championships. The competition pits firefighters against themselves and the clock with events like a 5-story climb, a victim rescue, and other tasks that simulate what they do on a daily basis. The championships will be held in Alabama later this month. And Searcy officials are hard at work preparing for their annual community block party this Thursday night. The event will feature inflatable games, basketball, a free meal, and the opportunity to meet local law enforcement and public officials. They say its goal is to foster neighborhood relationships and to help make Searcy a safer place to live. The festivities will begin at 5:30 at the St. Mary CME Church on South Sowell Street.
Coming up, we'll find out just what it takes to be one of the most cheerful people on campus.
But Alexis Jewell is next with your weather. Alexis?
Thanks, guys. And coming up after the break, I'm going to give you, in our national weather, a summary on Hurricane Matthew and how it's going to affect the states. And also in your local weather, I'm going to let you know why you might need one of these. So stay tuned.
When I was 6, I had one thing on my mind. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball every chance I could. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to learn the signs of a stroke fast. F-A-S-T.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke. F-A-S-T, fast.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise and be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Did you know that Lion's sense of vision is so powerful, it actually enables nearby creatures to see better? Here we see lions assisting the offspring of others, while their parents are elsewhere in the wild. Brilliant, isn't it? Making the wild kingdom look much better indeed. Do good, be a lion.
And we're back with your HE16 weather. And the current temperature is 86 degrees. It's been pretty warm today, but it feels a little bit warmer than that. It feels like 87. We have a very slight wind. It's coming from the south at 1 mile per hour, so it's just about a little breeze. And then we also have humidity at about 41%. And looking at the almanac for today, the average high is 78, so we're almost 10 degrees higher than the average. The average low is 52, while the record high was 94 in 1969, and the record low was 35 in 1987. And looking at our temperatures across Arkansas, as you can see, we're staying in and around the 80s. The east part of the state is in the higher 80s, while the west part is a little bit cooler. Fayetteville is only at 81. But Monticello and Jonesboro are at 87, so it's hot all across the state. And also our allergens. The ragweed count is low for the upcoming days, which is good for your allergies. And also looking at our national weather, we have a couple of things going on. As you can see, just like yesterday, we were having this cold front moving in. That's giving us a lot of cooler temperatures on the east side, or on the west side of this country. And then also, as you can see, we have some rain over along the east coast, which is preemptive rain from Hurricane Matthew. We talked a little bit about Hurricane Matthew yesterday, but giving you a little update on that. Hurricane Matthew hit Haiti today. It's a very serious storm. It has already caught 4 lives, and now it's moving towards Cuba. And now it's going to move to the states this weekend. However, a small recap on hurricanes. It's Category 4 when it hit Haiti, which means the wind was at around 130 to 156 miles per hour. But by the time that it hits the U.S., it's supposed to be around a level 2, and it's not supposed to get too much of our land, so we can be happy about that. Tonight is going to be clear with a low of 65. And tomorrow we're going to have some thunderstorms in the morning, so if you leave for work between 7 and 8, you're going to want to make sure you bring your umbrella. And then we're going to look at our 5-day real quick. Like I said, we're going to have some thunderstorms, and then the rest of the week it's going to be sunny. That's all I have for you for 8-2-16 weather. Now back to the news desk.
Thanks, Alexis. Well, up next, I'm going to be talking to the man who makes chapel announcements every morning at Harding University.
Can't wait to see that. We'll be right back.
Mom, when is Daddy coming home?
Daddy misses us too, honey. Hello? Hi, honey.
Hi, honey.
I love you.
Little.
Right here.
Dad, when are you going to come home?
I'm already there. Hey, buddy.
Being there. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
I never felt all that special. But in the wake of an earthquake, we can all do something. When donating goods, it's hard to know what's needed. So now it's my turn to help. Aid workers can spend me locally, where I can help save lives. Someone is doing better because of me. Together, we made that happen.
Welcome back to HU16's Live at 5. Today is Tuesday, and so that means it's Bruce Day Tuesday. So we have Harding President Bruce McClarty with us in the studio, and we are asking him some questions that you guys have sent in. So just remember that throughout these next few weeks, if you want to just hashtag Bruce Day Tuesday, we're going to be pulling some of your questions to ask him. So thank you so much for being here today.
Good to be here, Kelly. Thank you.
Yeah, so first of all, I know recently you've had a book signing. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
The Embracing the Mission is something that came out of my dissertation. There's a dissertation project, and you create something and then you test it, and that's what your dissertation is all about. And so this is something that I use every fall to help train new faculty at Harding University about who we are, where we came from, what it means to teach at Harding. And so we had the book signing during lectureship, and it was good to have it refreshed and re-edited and republished.
Speaking of lectureship, how was that? How do you think that all went? Did you enjoy it?
Lectureship just seems like it gets better every year. And Dan Williams does a great job with it, and it's kind of a homecoming of sorts. And a lot of people experience it as kind of a homecoming, even for people who didn't go to Harding. But it's a wonderful time. I was lectureship director for a few years, and I used to always say when it was over, I said, lectureship is so wonderful that one more day would kill us all.
Probably true. Just a little too much good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, through this semester, I mean, we're almost to midterms at this point. What has been something that you've enjoyed so far?
I enjoy every day. I mean, it's hard to narrow things down. I think everybody knows that we went to New Zealand as a part of the Harding University in Australia program, and probably that week of seeing all of that and of watching all 3 Lord of the Rings on the way home, you know, and then seeing what I had just seen and seeing it on screen, that probably was my favorite week this year.
Oh, good, good. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people just love the abroad program, so yeah, that's really great. Speaking of flying, taking the Harding plane, I know you couldn't obviously take it that far, so you didn't take it for this trip, but where would you say is your favorite place to fly on the Harding plane?
I can't think of.
Or that you've been.
Can't think of a single place I don't like to fly on the Harding plane. Probably my favorite is there's a meeting of college presidents in about, I guess it's late February, early March in Scottsdale, Arizona, and that may be my favorite place to go. And partly, I guess, Scottsdale, Arizona is not a bad place to go at the end of winter.
Yeah, definitely. As it cools off here. Can you tell us when you're on campus, not traveling, what does your just day-to-day, what do you do on the daily basis? Can you walk us through it?
No 2 days are the same, so there is no routine, and that's one of the things I think I love about what I do. That every morning come in about 8, and I'll be in chapel at 9. I'll be in chapel at 10. So there's a big block of my morning that's spoken for every day. My very first semester as president, I realized that I needed to have no appointments before noon. So a lot of times I'll have a lunch meeting with somebody, but no appointments before noon, so that after chapel, that's my roaming around time. And so I can pop into someone's office, or I can go check on someone, or I can see about some construction thing that's going on. But it's the time that you'll see me out and about campus the most. And then most of the time I'll have a lunch meeting, and then the afternoon is usually filled with appointments of all kinds.
All right, so it's kind of a pretty busy day. Yeah. So we had, like I said, we have people tweeting us with questions, and so one student wanted to know, because you've been spotted in the cafeteria, what is your favorite caf food?
Well, it has to be chicken nuggets, doesn't it?
Nuggets.
Yeah, you know, I mean that's everybody's favorite. So they do a great job, and I love the adventure of all the new things, and the I still don't know what you call it, the exhibition station, the stir fry area and everything. I love the way they experiment and all there. I like I like new foods and like to try new things. But at the end of the day, I'd pick chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets, yeah, that's definitely a really, really popular one, I would say, for the cafeteria. This is one that I know you personally ask a lot of people that you talk to. If you could do anything for Harding, change anything, add anything with no budget, what would be your dream, or what would be something that you would do on our campus, or that you would change? That
I would change. My number one dream of what I would do if money were not an issue would have to do with student cost. I wish we could give this to students. And I know that, you know, looking down the road, one of the things that we're going to be working on for the next 5 years or so is going to be trying to address the challenge of student cost, because it's an issue for everybody. So make it cheaper. That would be my thing.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, I have to ask this just because it's such a big thing, especially on Twitter, as people hashtag Bruce Day Tuesday. You know, we've entered into fall weather, and so things are starting to cool off. Do you think, you know, if things keep progressing the way they are and it gets colder and colder, that there might be optional finals this semester?
We're never very far from that question, are we?
No, never. Definitely
well,
not.
Hashtag it ain't going to happen.
Well, you know, we got to try. So.
I can't blame you for that.
Well, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you. And just remember, hashtag Bruce Day Tuesday with your questions. And so the next time he's on here, we'll be asking him more and more of your questions. Thanks again for being here, and we will be back with more news and sports after the break.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. This is a serious problem, but one we can solve. Visit feedingamerica.org to help. Together we can solve hunger. Together we're feeding America.
message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
I wish I was in school. If only I had a math test today. Or a book report to give. I wish I was in school. I'll stay after class. I'll clean the chalkboard. I'll do extra homework. I'll skip recess. I wish I was in school. I wish I was in school. I really wish I was in school.
School ends, but free lunches for your kids don't have to. Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/summer meals for help. Together, we're feeding America.
Welcome to HU16 Sports. I'm Jonathan Bentley. Saturday, the Harding Bison football team played a nail-biter against Ouachita Baptist. And let's pick it up in the first quarter. Harding's Tristan Parsley nails a 35-yard field goal to put the Bisons up 3-0. Later on in the quarter, OBU's Austin Wofford finds his target in the end zone to put the Tigers on top 7-3. And in the next drive, the Bison's receiver, Andrew Dather, makes an outstanding catch down the middle of the field and takes it all the way to the house. Bisons are now up 10-3 and would take a 17-17 tie in the half. Picking it up in the third, it appears Ouachita would fumble the ball, but Harding Scott's Middleton is about to score 6 and the referees call the play dead. And this would set up OBU Cole Antley to kick a 40-yard field goal to put the Tigers up 20-17. Harding, however, would not be going away. Later on in the fourth, 8.5 minutes to go, Harding's QB Park Parrish finds his way 75 yards down the field to set the Bisons up for the final score of the game, to put the final score at 24-20. Harding now improves to 5-0 on the season, and they will head to Arkadelphia this weekend to take on Henderson State. And it's been 12 years since Harding has beaten both OBU and Henderson in the same season. Bisons will look to keep making history this Saturday at 2 o'clock. And on the show, we always report about Harding's teams, but we often forget about one of the most crucial, the cheerleaders. HU16's Caitlin Parrott talked to cheer captain Lauren Hooper and student cheer coach Michael Canty about what it takes to be a Bison cheerleader.
There's a lot more to cheerleading than meets the eye.
It definitely takes a lot of strength. We do a lot of difficult stunts, and it also takes a lot of coordination. Obviously, you have to have physical ability.
The biggest thing, obviously, is the skill. We really look at people who, we need standing back handsprings. We need strong girls to do the stunts that we do. Most importantly, we look for girls who have a good attitude and everything. We want girls who are going to work for us.
So if you don't have the heart to keep going and persevere, then you won't get very far.
The squad has 16 girls on the team this year, and they practice every Monday and Wednesday to prepare for cheering at the home football and basketball games.
My favorite part of being on the cheerleading team is just getting to interact with the girls. I just love the Christian atmosphere here among the squad. Everyone is able to encourage one another and keep building each other up, like it says in 1 Thessalonians 5:11, and we're able to work hard and work together.
For those people that say cheer isn't a sport, they should definitely come into a practice and either watch it or be a part of it. Obviously, as you can see, there's a lot of flipping, there's a lot of strength involved and everything like that, endurance.
I would definitely say that cheerleading is a sport because it's the spirit of it.
So make sure and come check out the Bison cheerleaders at the next home football game. Reporting for HU16, I'm Caitlin Parrott.
And the Harding men and women's soccer team play tonight. In Searcy, both teams will face Ouachita Baptist as they seek to grab another conference win. The men's game starts at 7 tonight, but we're going to take a look real quick into the women's match. Ouachita Baptist is currently up 1-0. We are 20 minutes in, and Ouachita Baptist took a lead earlier just a few minutes ago, 1-0. Harding outshooting the Tigers 7-3. So be sure to keep tuning in right after Live at 5 to catch the rest of the match. And that's all I have for sports tonight. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, Jonathan, and we'll be right back after this with some more stories.
I see it!
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Because we have 5 minutes, and I don't know how long this package is. Yeah,
Jessica, we need to leave right now. I need to get something. Dance recitals are so boring.
There's a me no one knows. Waiting to be set
So
free.
what's the empty suitcase for?
The grand prize trophy.
Duh.
Confidence. Pass it on.
I was born to be somebody.
Sometimes all it takes to be a dad is remembering how to be a kid again. Take time to be a dad today.
I'm the greatest hitter in the world. Strike one. I'm the greatest hitter in the world. Strike two. I'm the greatest hitter in the world! Strike three. Wow. I'm the greatest.
Studies Institute brings in speakers from all over America and the world. AHU 16 reports on the speaker last night.
Harding University's American Studies Institute held a reception to welcome guest speaker Michael Duffy. Michael Duffy is the deputy managing editor for Time magazine. He talked about his book, The President's Club, Inside the World's Most Exclusive Fraternity.
The thing about why it's important to hear the story about presidents and former presidents now is that we're living in a hyper-partisan age, and what we learned by studying their presidencies and their post-presidencies is that they need each other, and regardless of their party and regardless of their ideology, they need each other while they're in office and they need each other while they're out. And there's a lot of premium placed in the middle of a campaign about our differences and the things that separate us, but what really is enduring and important and abiding is what unites us, and not what separates us, not what divides us, and the President's Club is really a testament to that story.
After his speech, Duffy held a book signing for the President's Club, and when asked how he felt like this presidential election season fit into the theme of the book, this is how he responded.
Well, I think we've already seen some stuff over the last couple of weeks. I mean, it was really interesting that Bush 41, the elder Bush, let it be known through a member of the Kennedy family that he intended to vote for Hillary, not for Trump. That was an interesting channel. I think it was interesting 2 weeks ago at the opening of the African American History Museum that President Obama and President Bush 43 were on the dais, but Bill Clinton wasn't allowed to be there. That was thought to be too political a space for him. So he's still a little bit, in this environment, can't really function as a member of the club while his wife's on the ticket. We haven't heard from President Carter yet, which I expect. It's kind of funny that he hasn't said anything, but I suspect he will. And we did see George W. Bush on a Bloomberg show last week, in which he was talking about the meaning and the importance of debates, which was probably as close as knowing him. He wants to get to this race. So we'll see. Neither of the Bushes went to the Republican convention, and that's interesting. That tells you something.
For AHU 16, I'm Katie McDonald.
The talented beatboxer from the a cappella group Pentatonics will be at Harding's very own Admin Auditorium tonight at 8:30. Kevin Olasula has performed at Carnegie Hall twice as a solo artist, was a pre-med student at Yale, and is a winner of NBC's The Sing-Off with the group Pentatonics.
Pentatonics has already performed on Harding's campus before, but Olasula will return performing and speaking about his unique journey and passion for music.